Good morning, Robert Bercy. Happy Tuesday, sir. It was so fun getting to see you in person last week and see you in your new wheelchair, looking all grown up. You looked so good. It was so fun seeing you. I'm so glad I get to see you again this week. I hope you are taking really good care of your mom and making things really easy on her because I know she needs it this week. We're going to make sure that we take it easy on mom these next couple weeks. Do the best that we can do. I hope that you're doing okay, mom. Well, let's get started with that Go Noodle Flow Pal. Here we go.
Melting, melting, melting. We all have those moments when we freeze. We can't move. We can't think. But with practice, we can get good at melting that frozen feeling. Let's freeze up and then melt. Stand up in a spot with a little space around you. Cross your arms and hold your shoulders with your hands. Carefully tuck your chin down and in. Tighten as many muscles in your body as you can. Let your body be frozen, like an ice statue. Feet tight, legs tense, belly tight, shoulders up. Now, even make a frozen face. Close your eyes, your mouth, your jaw, tight. Feeling frozen? Really still? Now, little by little, begin to melt. Let your chin stay low as your face softens and melts. Your jaw opens slightly, your eyes blink open, just a little. Your mouth and cheeks melt and feel soft. You're melting. Let your shoulders melt and go down. Hands let go. Arms glide down to your sides, melting. Let your legs melt too. Soften and bend. Melt. Try to melt all the way to the floor. Down, down, down. Let yourself be a blob, a puddle on the floor. Melted all the way to soft. Exhale long. Once frozen and tight, and now melted, a little more at ease. Let's do it again. This time, choose your own frozen statue. Be creative. Freeze your arms. Freeze your legs. Freeze your face. Make a funny face if you'd like. Freeze there. Tighten. Freeze, freeze, freeze. You're frozen. Close your eyes or keep them open. Stay frozen for just one more moment. Ready to melt? One icy part of you at a time begins to melt. Face, eyes, jaw, head, chin goes down, shoulders drop, fingers soften and droop, hands too, arms float down. You are melting. Let your legs allow you to melt down to the floor. Melt, 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 droop, settle, and rest. Melted. Try to feel at ease here. Soft. Check in on your body. Is any area still frozen? Notice that tightness. Melt it if you wish. Rest here. Breathe. Eyes are open or closed. Next time you feel frozen, in your mind or in your body, try to melt it away.
All right, my friend. I hope that we are ready and able to stretch our arms out so you can actually activate that switch to listen to that song that I'm not sure that you totally enjoy. We'll make sure we change that for you soon, but I hope that your arms are ready to stretch out, your hands are ready to do a little bit of work. and you're ready to keep moving here. Let's keep going with our numbers and our letters, buddy. Here we go. All right, we've got our R sound, the r sound in Robert, the letter R in Robert. So the R, when we make our R, it goes one line down, one half circle, and then your diagonal line down for the in Robert. Next up is our O, the sound that we hear in Robert. The O, the letter O that we hear in Robert. When we draw our O, we go around in a circle for the O. The next one is the B sound, the B that we hear in Robert. The B, we do one line down and then two half circles. Next up is our twofer, our E and our R that go together. They are the sound that make the sound that we hear in Robert. And when we make our E, we know we do one line down and then three little lines across. And then our R is just like at the beginning with one straight line down, one half circle, and one diagonal line down. And the last sound is the T sound that we hear in Robert. T, R-O-B-E-R-T, R-O-B-E-R-T. That spells Robert. Make sure when we do our T, it's just one straight line across, one straight line down. Make sure you take some time now or at the end to practice drawing those letters out with your finger. Robert, you're gonna have to work harder so that you can help mom do that. While we're going, we're just gonna roll right into our counting binder. Do some numbers. It looks like this is probably from when we did this last week, which is A-OK. All right. Alrighty. Here we go. The number 1. There's only one Robert Bursey. Robert Bursey, you have one nose, one mouth where we see all of your smiles, and one big heart that we love, the number 1. Move it over for 1. When we draw number 1, we do one line straight down for the number 1. Next up is our number 2. Robert Bursey, you have 2 eyes for seeing, 2 ears for hearing, and 2 lungs for breathing. 1, 2, the number 2. 1, 2. When we draw our number 2, remember we do one curve up, one diagonal line down, and one across the bottom, the number 2. Next up, the number 3. We're gonna have lots of aliens on this page. Aliens and Robert Bursey have 3 of things. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. When we make our number 3, we do one half circle to the middle and another half circle to the middle for the number 3. The next up is the number 4. We take our 1, 2 hands and our 3, 4 feet. That gives us 1, 2, 3, 4. With our counters 1, 2, 3, and 4, or 1, 2, 3, and 4. When we draw it, it's all the straight lines. One line down, one line across, one line straight down for the number 4. Next up is the number 5 to give high fives. You're gonna have to give mom a high five on a different hand these days, I think. The number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, high five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, high five. And make sure when we draw it, we do one line across the top, one line down, and then your circle at the bottom. So make sure you take some time now or at the end of this video to make sure you practice drawing those numbers with your letters too. Practice numbers 1 through 5 and the letters of your name, Mr. Bursey. All right, next thing we're gonna do once we get this all set for next time is listen to that transportation song. Let's roll right into it, sir.
Whoa, adapted mind math. Come explore the site with me.
I still really like that song. I like the rocket ship at the end. I think it's got a sweet tune to it. The next thing we're going to do is listen to one more song about a different kind of transportation. And this one's about a hot air balloon because that's our kind of transportation today. Here it goes, bud.
I'm a very, very big balloon and called a hot air balloon. I don't leave you to just watch me fly, but take you with me to the open sky. I come in many shapes, but I'm mostly round. I cannot fly when the rain pours down. I'm at my best when the wind is light, and when the day is clear and bright. I have a burner to heat the air, an envelope to hold the hot light air. I carry you up above the land in a basket that's for you to stand. I look so colorful floating around, and so calm as I don't make a sound. Far or near, high or low, I carry up to 20 passengers as I go. Fly me for a great adventure and fun, up in the air under the golden sun. Watch the wonderful castles and trees, the green meadows and lakes and seas.
Good.
You get more as you share more. Keep sharing.
Great stuff. The last thing we're going to do is listen to a story that I think I can read out loud to you before we talk about our craft. So our story today is Curious George and the Hot Air Balloon. Pull it up for us. Curious George and the Hot Air Balloon. This is George. George was a good little monkey and always very curious. He was on a trip with his friend, the man with the yellow hat. It was the end of their vacation, and they wanted to make just 2 more stops. They were in South Dakota, so of course they needed to see Mount Rushmore. George had never seen anything like it. These are the faces of 4 great presidents, the tour guide said. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. Look, said a girl, there's something crawling on George Washington's head. The tour guide explained that some workers were making repairs to the faces. George watched the workers. Then he saw a helicopter fly by. It was taking tourists for close-up looks. George thought that would be fun. Maybe we could take a ride later, said the man. but now we need to leave or we'll be late for the hot air balloon race. So they got back into the little blue car before long they came to a whole field full of hot air balloons. George was delighted to see so many big balloons. He liked their spots and stripes and stars, but his favorite had a picture of a bunny on it. One balloon was not up in the air yet. Its owner was hurrying to fill it as a newspaper reporter took pictures. The man with the yellow hat watched the balloon on the ground, but George watched the balloon in the sky. He was curious. Why didn't they fly away? Then he saw the ropes. A rope is a good thing to keep a balloon from flying away, thought George. A rope is also a good thing to climb. Sometimes when the monkey sees something to climb, he can't help himself. He has to climb it. George thought he would climb just one rope, then quickly climb down. But when George climbed up, there was no way to climb back down. The rope had come undone, and there was only one place to go. Up, up, up went the balloon, and George went with it. George flew higher and higher, and the people below grew smaller and smaller. The man with the yellow hat was tiny. The newspaper reporter was too. And the owner of the balloon wasn't very big. But it was big enough for George to see that he was angry. George felt bad. He didn't mean to take the balloon. He didn't even know how to fly it. As the wind whisked him away, he wished he had someone to help him. But he was all done. George climbed into the basket. When he looked around, he found he wasn't alone after all. The race was on, and he was in the lead. Together, the balloons flew across the sky and over the forest. Now George was having fun. But before he knew it, George was alone again, and all the fun was gone. Flying by himself high in the sky, George was frightened. How would he ever get down, he wondered. Oh, if only I hadn't climbed that rope. Suddenly the wind changed, and George saw something familiar. He was excited. Someone was sure to help him now. In fact, there was someone right in front of him. It was one of the workers, and he was stranded by George Washington's nose. George was so happy to see the worker, he didn't notice how happy the worker was to see him. Slowly, the balloon floated closer. Would it come close enough? It did. The worker grabbed onto the rope and climbed up. Soon he was in the basket with George. Hurrah! George was rescued. Hurrah! The worker was rescued too. They sailed over George Washington's head and landed safely in a tree. Soon the whole crowd came to rescue them both. The man with the yellow hat was happy to see George. The reporter was glad to have such an exciting story to report, and the owner of the balloon wasn't angry anymore. Everyone had seen the rescue. George was a hero. After the workers thanked him, George got a special treat. He got a ride in the helicopter. The helicopter flew George and the man with the yellow hat once more past the presidents, then back to the little blue car. As they drove away, the man said, "That was some vacation, George." George agreed. It was an exciting vacation, but they were both very glad to go home. I like Curious George books. I think they're very funny and very sweet. All right, the last thing we're going to talk about is your craft for today. And I know that it might be hard for mom to do the craft. So if you got to leave them for me for Thursday, that's a-okay. But I'm going to show you one more time, and the video's on there. But like I said, if it's too hard, because it's kind of a difficult one, tomorrow's is easier. So we can definitely finish this on Friday if you need to. So you have that black outline, and then you have some wax paper where you'll rip apart all of the, it's called tissue paper, glue that to the wax paper, and then glue the black part on top of it. And then I think I have strings that go down to the basket. So kind of a lot of steps. So definitely, Mom, if that's too much for you guys, please leave it for me for Friday. As you can see, tomorrow's is pretty easy. And so is, I'm sorry, for Thursday. Tomorrow's is easy and so is Thursday. So we can definitely finish that up if we need to on Thursday. I hope you guys are staying safe and warm because it's pretty nasty outside. I will see you guys soon. Bye.